Hello everyone! New Devlog update? It's been a while since I've been in touch. You'd think that I've done a lot, but no. Of course, I've been fixing bugs, lots of bugs, and work on game design concepts. Well, I started working on the most difficult for me part of the development, the environment part. Here is a small room, the Shrine of Sorrows. It is not finished yet, but it's close. I like how it turned out. Also, I made it possible to throw objects in different directions. This idea came to me after I started developing a flying enemy and realized that throwing object only forward can be bad in such a case. I also draw this game part to better demonstrate how the controls work. Before moving on the next topic, I want to ask you to hit the like button, it really helps the channel grow. So the next topic I wanted to show is a new special item that I added to the game, and that's the magic wand. The idea is that it will be a completely optional item that is not required to complete key locations. At the same time, the wand is a difficult to use but very powerful tool. The wand is used as follows. You need to make the wand an active item, then hold down the Use Item button, and then type a sequence that activates the desired sorcery. If everything is done well, the active item slot is occupied by the selected sorcery and remains active for some time. If you press the Use Item button again, the sorcery is activated. Ta-da! In some ways, it represents that the player actually needs to learn magic, rather than just choosing from a list and binding it to hotkeys. In addition, the wand has no limitations. All spells will be available from the very beginning of the game, but there are a couple of nuances. Firstly, the sorceries are known from the beginning of the game, and they can be learned as you progress. Secondly, it is difficult to use the wand. You need to find time in the heat of battle to perform the necessary sequence for the sorcery and generally remember it. Another way to use magic would be enchanted items. I haven't designed what they will look like or be called yet, but the gist is that they are analogous to wand-based magics, but bounded to an item, kind of like rechargeable sorceries. They are much easier to use, but they do not have the flexibility and unlimited possibilities that a wand gives. Basically, the player can just take an item that gives him a magic bolt, for example, and use it again and again. That's all the item can do. In addition, after use, the item must recharge, restore its power. You can spam magic without interruption. And in this regard, the wand also gives more flexibility. It can be faster to enter the sequence of chosen witchcraft than to wait for the artifact to recharge. Thus, the player will have a choice of which path to take, the simpler one or the more profitable one. That's all for the topic of magic. There will also be potions, for example, a potion to restore defense points. As you may have already noticed, I slightly changed the appearance of the Shady. Now she looks a little more logical and complete. I am preparing for another move to a new place, and while sorting through things, I found old concepts. For example, this is the very first image of the Shady ever created. I sketched it before the Great Pandemic. At that time, I was thinking that I would make a tabletop game. After many iterations, Shady became what she is. I was thinking of making a short video about it, but I'm not sure I will have enough content. I'm also working on a new enemies. If you follow my social media, you might have already seen the designs of some of them. These guys are still in development. Perhaps the next video will be dedicated to the new enemies. or maybe to meditations, another game mechanic that has already been developed on paper but has not yet been implemented in code. That's all for today. Check out my social media. There is Twitter, Blue Sky, and almost that Instagram. Links are probably somewhere in the description. Thanks for watching. Peace to you all.